This is from a YouTube video of him speaking at a Zeitgeist movement chapter in San Diego last week on YouTube. So for what it's worth, it's, you know, you're getting a little bit more unfiltered truth here from Dylan Ratigan, and this is what I'm talking about. So again, back to Dylan real quick, because we don't have too much time, and I got a couple more clips and a video I want to show you talking about we need to be doing more. And Dylan's saying that it wasn't enough to have the big show on MSNBC to write a book, and it's not changing anything. It's not doing anything different. So I need to be the change. I need to do more.
It's not my opinion as to the financial system or the health system or the energy system. It's my thoughts, my actions, my harmonics, so I'm in that one place. And it is now, the presidential election is coming up. My contract is expiring at MSNBC. It's June of 2012. It's Obama, Romney. Who are you in for? And I'm like, Obama, Romney. And Obama, anyway, let's not even get into it. At the same time, I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to be dead. We're all going to be dead. This is a blink. And I'm like, how much more of my time do I want to spend having a conversation about something stupid like Obama, Romney, when I could be learning more, meeting more, and doing more?
Exactly. I could be engaging more in real solutions. Now, well, what is the solution then? Where does the solution lie? How do we actually get 1 billion people to change instantly? How do we shift a paradigm on 1 billion people? Well, you can't do it linearly. You're telling me you're going to go to 1 billion different people and explain, you know, what they're doing wrong and how they need to change their lives? No, it doesn't work like that. We have to find a better solution, an asymmetrical solution. Dylan Ratigan talks about this here. The solution lies in the power of the mythology.
So where does the solution actually live? Where I work is effectively irrelevant. What we do in this room is effectively irrelevant.
Now, I want to actually, real quick, I want to play this as a video. This is the one video clip that I have. So if you're watching the video broadcast, you'll see the video here. And if you're not watching the video broadcast, what Dylan Ratigan is doing is he's standing in front of a chalkboard. On the chalkboard, he has a graph. The line on the bottom, which is a straight line on the bottom of the graph, is reality. And then a line basically at a 45-degree angle pointing upwards, that line represents the possible. And then in between is fear. In case you're not watching the video, here's Dylan Ratigan.
So where does the solution actually live? Where I work is effectively irrelevant. What we do in this room is effectively irrelevant. Well, if you look at the self-organizing principles of humanity, humanity tends to self-organize around what I define as the mythology of power. Meaning, little boys and little girls look into the myths of society, whether it's ancient mythology or the modern mythology now, which I would argue is in the production of film, it's in the production of television, it's in the production of what you see, that the production of mythology of power, and that younger people set their internal harmonic calibration, their thoughts, their aspirations, based on what they perceive at the apex of the mythology of power. I want to be like that particular myth. There's a unique characteristic to this moment in time. Normally, the rate of change of what's possible in the history of the world is very slow. And reality is determined on a generation by generation basis. So typically for reality to change, a given generation of power has to die, the next generation comes in, and it takes, and so the rate of change for reality is actually getting slower because people are living longer, while the rate of change for what's getting is going faster because of technology. So we're going to have a way to cross this gap, right? And what this gap right now is fear, right? This is where fear is bred and lives, individually and collectively, right? And so and this is why people come to this, the Zeitgeist movement. Guy makes a movie called Zeitgeist, says we need to start a movement. All of a sudden, there's all these chapters all over the world. Why is that? Well, because the rate of change of what's possible is faster than it's ever been. The rate of change in reality is slower than it's ever been. The gap is bigger than it's ever been, and the fear level is really high. So there's an incredibly large population of people that are desperately searching for something to do with their use of their time that can be beneficial to solving this problem. Some of us have a lot of influence to do that. Some of us have a little bit of influence to do that. But when you come to the realization that a linear solution, even the most profound group of most powerful people who are the most highly trained Marines in the world building these cities on a linear solution, they don't stand a chance. So you need an asymmetrical solution, which is ultimately in the myth. Because the myth is the only thing that can change the harmonic or the vibration. So when you look at a billion people, how do you get a billion people to change immediately? Not through a linear, you can't go from one to the next person and be like, listen, look at this fucking greenhouse dude, it's awesome. Totally do the thing, get tomatoes, it's great. You don't need any solar panels, you got solar paint now, you know, you don't need to do this. Next door, you know. How many we got to? We got 10,000. That's awesome. How many left? You know, 999 million left. I'm tired. The question is, how do you change the power myths? Just to kind of get to my point. I'm sorry, I think I'm going there. My ultimate conclusion, and I think I got you there, is that the only way to change a billion people to the new paradigm is to change the power myths. And the question is, how do you change a power myth? All a myth really is a story, right? A story of one person or one group of people is, once that story is retold to one other person, it becomes a myth. When it's told to a lot of people, it becomes a widely held myth. When it becomes a big enough myth, then the harmonic of that power totally affects the moment-to-moment thoughts and decisions of the population.
There you have it. That is it. That's what I'm talking about. Does that ring home? Is that, you know, I think that's really cool stuff. And it speaks to the general themes that we've talked about on this show so many times. How we need to have paradigm shifts, how we need to be thinking on, you know, maybe we don't have all the right answers, but at least we're trying to start to ask the right questions. And then it begs, what Dylan Ratigan is doing is living out in his own life right now the kind of the end game of that thinking process, and I love it, and that's what I'm motivated on right now. How can we get beyond just sitting here and talking about this to getting to the actual doing? How do we be the change? How do we make the difference? Because
damn, who knew Dylan Ratigan was so deep?
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. And I just watched this last night. I'm like, wow.
Where'd you find that?
It's on YouTube. If you type in, because I saw the bit with Dylan Ratigan on The Daily Show last week, and I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I wonder what because, you know, The Daily Show didn't really get into much about Archie's acres, about this actual farm, about the hydroponic system, about, you know, they really didn't get into anything other than, oh, it's Dylan Ratigan, he's back, and he's a farmer in California. Big whoop. It was funny. That's The Daily Show. But I dug in. I'm like, well, what is going on with Dylan Ratigan? And then I found the interview that he did with Current TV with Tommy Chong, of all people, on the Young Turks, talking about the hydroponics and how Tommy Chong's talking about how the marijuana industry has revolutionized hydroponics and growing. And now this Archie's Acres, this new kind of sustainable farm that Dylan Ratigan is becoming a partner with, they are using this hydroponic system to essentially do a whole bunch of stuff. It's way more than I can pack into the next 6 minutes before the end of the show.
That's always being the solution, and he's obviously being far more productive in that capacity than he ever was sitting on the air and bloviating.
Right, exactly. And And so I hope that this, this has highlighted or better explained my theory on what I want to do with myself, with my life, and with this program that is essentially, what our lives, Scott, is filter-free radio. I want to be doing more. I want to get active and have this show be the highlighting of that activism, or the illustrating of that activism. And the offer still stands, man. Show us your activism. I got a new comment line for you, 503-746-TALK. If you also engage and participate in activism, I'll give you a bumper sticker right here. You see this cool, super nifty, awesome bumper sticker I have right here, Filter Free Radio. Don't you want a cool bumper sticker too? I'll send you one if you get active and just tell us about it. Call it in. Shoot us an email. I'll put the emails up on the screen real quick. Jacob at filterfreeradio.com, skeptical at filterfreeradio.com, or give us a call, 503-746-TALK. You can call that number anytime, 24/7. Leave us a voicemail. Show us your activism. Participate. Make a difference. That is what I want to do, and that, at the very least, I don't know what else to say other than I need to, I guess, practice what I'm
get out there
preaching.
And get active.
And
tag you're it.
Yeah, I need to set the example, right? You have to lead by example. Scott, man, what are your thoughts in our final minutes here before we
tag you're it? No,
right?
Bring back memories.
Right. It does come down to that, yeah.
And there's a lot. I think one of the things for me, it's the easiest way to begin is, and you think about influences in your lives and what you do and patterns and behavior patterns. Like, I can't tell you last time I went to the grocery store, I've almost cut off, except for buying carrots, going to the regular grocery store, as it were, and eating out, as it were. And it's, it's a lot of work. And of course, I'm unemployed, so I have time to cook and go shopping in two different locations, of course. And so the farmer's market and the co-op and growing my own food. I got some green beans, I got some carrots, I got some cucumbers and some lettuce, and so and some herbs. And
you'll have to take some pictures and add it to the photo album on our Facebook.
Well, if they survive the red mite infestation, I got red mites, man. They're killing everything.
Uh-oh.
So anyway, yeah, it's bad news. It bugs, not the good kind. But anyway, the point is that taking back, what we, who owns us? Where do we get our food from? We're beholden to whoever we buy our food from. Obviously, if you buy it from a large multinational corporation, you're giving them your money, and you're perpetuating their existence, and you're supporting them with your economics and with your money. And it's just, you got to stop. And then moreover, you have to eat healthier, because we're all being poisoned with pesticides. And when you got Roundup Ready corn and all this shit's in the food supply, and there's nothing more GMO than a Cheez-It. But man, Cheez-Its taste so good.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. So it's like all these things are just so bad for you. But we have to get away from that and start growing our own food.
Break that cycle, baby.
Yeah, and supporting local food. Like I just joined the CSA, the community supported agriculture, where
nice.
You pay it's about $15 a week, and then they're basically, it's a garden. It's like you have your own garden in your backyard. It's 2 miles from here, and they're growing lettuce and all kinds of vegetables, and I'm eating. So I'm eating local. It'd be better.
Not to cut you off real quick, because we're out of time, but there's a very similar thing here locally, probably 10 minutes away from where I am in Southeast Portland, a local sustainable farm that you can pay, I think, so much money per year and get all the vegetables basically that you need delivered to your door.
Even better.
Exactly, but it's out there, man, and so we're flat out of time.
Take back your life from corporate America.
Scott, man,
one step at a time.
You're the best. You're the best. Say that again, because that's what it is.
I said, take back your life from corporate America, one facet of your life at a time.
Check out, Scott, man, thank you. Check out DylanRatigan.com and our website for more, filterfreeradio.com.